with all the action from the realm of motorcycle racing. And this week, the news includes interesting tidbits like a 200-mile enduro on the island of Hawaii and the wildest cross-country race finish I've ever seen. But we're going to begin with the Supercross Series. High drama in the next-to-last series race out at San Jose, California. You know by now the story. Damon Bradshaw, the Yamaha rider, and Honda teammates Jean-Michel Bayle and Jeff Stanton battling throughout the second half of the series for the point lead. Well, last weekend, all three series hopefuls went into the next-to-last series race, but only two came out with a shot at the championship. Bayle came to Spartan Stadium with a 3-point lead over Bradshaw, who in turn was 3 up on Stanton. The start is always critical. This one belonged to, surprise, number 30, Larry Brooks. Stanton, Bradshaw, and Bayle all got away cleanly, if unspectacularly, and the chase for points was on. Now, the early running order was Brooks, Stanton, Mike Kudrowski, Bayle, Jeff Matasevich, and Bradshaw. Stanton down by 6 in the points with only one more chance to score. Most needed the victory. And so in the first turn of the second lap, he knifed under Brooks and took the lead. Now, Brooks put up a respectable fight on his no-liens privateer Yamaha, but eventually faded to 8th. This is Bradshaw getting by Larry. But the big surprise up front, Stanton surrendered the lead to the hard-charging Matasevich, reminding us how easily a spoiler or two could determine the outcome of this championship. And when Jean-Michel Bayle saw this unfolding, he knew exactly how to respond. Or did he? Watch the Frenchman crash in the soft sand after going 3 wide with the 2 Jeffs. Bang! Bayle claims Stanton hit him, and we'll have more on that in a moment. Say goodbye to the championship JMB, but you got to admire this guy's guts. He hits really hard for the second week in a row and again keeps going. He thinks he dislocated his shoulder. It certainly appeared he was trying to pop it back into place once it was back underway. A 9th place finish all but eliminates him from the title chase. Meanwhile, Stanton takes Matasevich up high, and look who sees the opening. It's Bradshaw, who shoots past both of them to go from 3rd to 1st. That may be remembered as the move that won the title. It's worth a critical 5 points, the difference between 3rd and 1st place finishes. Well, rounding out the podium was number 12, Doug Dubach. First time this year he's been on the box. He did it with this pass on Matasevich. Guy Cooper, number 5, tailed him to an eventual 4th place finish, while Matasevich, Kudrowski, and Michael Craig tangle in a big all-Kawasaki crash. Craig broke his nose. Both he and Matasevich were out cold. Bradshaw wins his 9th of the season, breaks Bayle's single-season record, Damon's 17th career win. In just 3 years, he's up to 4th on the all-time list, and most important, he goes to the finale with a 6-point lead over Saturday night's runner-up Jeff Stanton. Bayle falls 10 points out of the lead. Bradshaw's a happy guy.
I'm just happy I was able to win here in San Jose, and happy my teammate was also to make the podium tonight. You know, it makes me real happy to win and also him to make it for Yamaha. But, you know, we go to L.A. July the 11th. That's a different race, and after that, this championship will be over with.
Sounds like Damon will be glad when this thing's over. Stanton will need the ride of his life in the L.A. Coliseum on July the 11th. Jean-Michel Bayle's crash will apparently excuse him from the rescheduled series finale in the L.A. Coliseum. Was in the so-called support class, the 125 race for Western Regional riders. With the report, here's Art Ekman.
With 6 wins in 7 starts, defending series champion Jeremy McGrath needed only a 12th place finish at San Jose to clinch his 2nd title. Certainly McGrath didn't plan on being dead last into the first turn, but that's the way it turned out. There's no obvious indication of how McGrath found himself in the back of the pack, and he couldn't explain it either. But his bad start set the stage for one of the great rides of the '92 Supercross season, displacement class or geography notwithstanding. In Jeremy's absence, somebody had to go to the front, and number 130, Damon Huffman, was quick to volunteer. He was equally quick to disappear, as we'll see in a moment. But first, a check on McGrath. Number 1, unaccustomed to all this traffic, nonetheless passed 13 motorcycles in 2 laps. Now say goodbye to Huffman, who augured in while leading the first lap, picked himself up and came back to 16th place. The bike helped by idling patiently until Damon was ready to go again. That left the lead to comeback standout Ryan Hughes, who in turn was challenged by McGrath's peak antifreeze teammate, Buddy Antonez. Kawasaki-mounted Hughes, just back from an injury, scored a podium finish last week and for a while had a real shot at winning this one. Meanwhile, McGrath was the fastest man on the track by far. He didn't have to wait to make passes like this one on Jimmy Gaddis. Jeremy was already inside the top 5, closing on Hughes and Antonez. When the leader, Ryan, where did he go? Unfortunate answer to that question. He went on his head. Antonez inherited the top spot with Tyson Bolin second, and Hughes remounted just in time to be swallowed up by McGrath. No, it didn't happen immediately, but it did happen spectacularly. Here, Ryan, you take the inside, I'll take the outside. You jump 2, I'll jump 3, and I'll see you later. Then McGrath takes advantage of a stumble by teammate Antonez to complete the blitz from dead last to first in a 15-lap main event. And why go to all that trouble when 12th place was enough for the title?
Well, once you're used to winning, you don't really feel like losing. So, you know, I wanted to win as bad as I could. You know, it made it just that much more of a challenge coming from the back. And, you know, I just kept pressing. And I could see those guys up there, and I was gaining on them. And, you know, I never want to settle for anything less than first.
There's a genuine star of the future, and a look at the guys who rode in his shadow Saturday night. Reporting from Motoworld, I'm Art Eckman.
All right, thanks, Art. That was a great individual effort by McGrath. And from that, we'll move to the greatest finish of the weekend.
John Rahor showed up to challenge Summers, but Scott's main concern was his point lead over Scott Plessinger.
I could actually still lose the championship real easily by, you know, getting hurt or you know, not having good finishes from now on. So it's not a good idea to be really confident at this point. I just need to go out there and just treat every race, you know, like it is just a race and do the best I can.
This race course had a tremendous amount of mud. Some guys needed a little tap from behind to get moving. Other guys, well, they just weren't moving at all. This is the rainforest equivalent of downtown rush hour traffic. But as usual, the fast guys were able to avoid most of these bottlenecks or ride right around them. And thus, the final 15 seconds of this race were all action. It's Summers leading Rahor, who wasn't about to settle for second. And watch how this thing finishes. Rahor on the ground. Summers wins the race. Scott said he lost track of Jan to the last second.
I turned around in a corner up on the motocross section, and I didn't see him, so I was just being real careful not to slide out in a rut or something. And that being careful also slowed me down a little bit, so right at the finish, he was right on my rear tire. So it was definitely close.
Well, up front, it was close indeed.
Contention for the series title, but it apparently solves a problem for him as well. He did not want to ride the series finale, as remarkable as that may sound for a man who could have won $250,000 there. The race now conflicts with a European test session for road racing, which is what JMB is going to do next year. Now, Bale's willingness to blow off a major championship like that is one of the reasons that he and Jeff Stanton, his teammate, don't see eye to eye. They just don't get along. Well, that's been a big concern for Team Honda. They take an understandably negative view of teammates crashing each other out of a title fight. So when Bale tumbled while racing Stanton for the lead last weekend, there was great potential for controversy. Art Eckman has that story, beginning with a very candid pre-race interview with Jeff Stanton.
Well, there's actually no teamwork. It's John Michelle for himself, Jeff Stanton for himself. Only thing we have in common is we both ride for Team Honda and we ride red bikes, and that's it. I sure the hell ain't going to help him out, and he's not going to do the same for me. And it's each man for himself. If I have to knock him down, I'll do it.
That statement, plus his aggressive competitive nature on the track, led skeptics wanting to believe that Stanton did in his teammate and series points leader Jean-Michel Bale. Even Stanton wasn't exactly sure what happened just after the race.
He clipped my front wheel, I believe is what happened.
You know, we was riding very tight with Jeff, and, you know, he touched me just before the jump.
The reactions of Honda officials after reviewing tape of the crash spelled relief for Stanton. They absolved him of any blame.
Basically, there was no contact. We just watched the video, so I mean, he can say what we want. We have it on TV, so he basically was out of control.
You know, it's a stupid mistake, but nothing I can do. You know, in a team, you try not to race too much with your friend, but we raced a little bit too much, so we lose the championship.
The defending champion, who claims he'll be out a month because of his shoulder injury, now can turn his attention to his dream of road racing in Europe without defending his Supercross title in this season's finale in Los Angeles. For Motoworld, this is Art Eckman.
All right, thanks, Art. Remember, the series finale is Saturday afternoon, July 11th, L.A. Coliseum. Bale may not be there, but you can bet Stanton and Bradshaw will be. And you can bet that we'll be back next week at this same time with another edition of Motoworld. On our plate to cover this weekend's action, AMA Camel Pro races at the New York State Fairgrounds.